Hello. Okay, today I'm here. I want to talk about Vaillant Ebus controls and fault finding on them. So a lot of people struggle with this because they're unaware of some basic sort of principles of Ebus controls. So Ebus controls, Ebus is a protocol a bit like CAN bus on cars, where two wires can communicate a lot of information and power stuff. So to give you a little example, an Ebus room thermostat. Okay, so I have one in my house. My boiler's in the loft. The Ebus room thermostat has two wires going to it. That's it. But it's able to control the hot water temperature out of my combi. It's able to display me the outside weather sensor temperature. It's able to display me the flow temperature. It's also able to display me fault codes for the boiler, all down two wires. So the way it works is that it's a protocol that uses either pulse to signify different things or frequency. Now I'm not going to go into depth like that on this. This is basic how to fault find on Ebus controls, but you just need to be aware that the two wires can provide a lot of information to various sensors and stuff like that. So the main thing to bear in mind with Ebus is the use of the NTC for the hot water. So if they have a Vaillant Vantage cylinder, they can have a NTC going into the light brown connections in the VR65. The probe pushes into the cylinder and it allows them to directly control the hot water temperature off the front of the boiler with the knob. Okay, so just remember that. And Ebus is a hold off system. So you leave your link in the boiler, so the boiler would always run, and it's the Ebus that stops it. Okay, so Ebus is a hold off system. And last but not least, Ebus is a priority hot water. So regardless if you've got weather comp or you haven't, or you've just got standard room stat, Ebus is priority hot water. So I'll do some more voiceover on this because I was in a little bit of a hurry, and you see I have extra things to deal with while I'm on site. So I hope this helps people. This one is a VR65, which is the original one. So the communication between all of this, which is your controls, and the boiler, is done just off them two wires there. That plus and minus there can control heating and water. So just these two wires can control heating and water. So it's all based upon frequency as far as I'm aware. So basically the problem here is their heating ain't working properly and their hot water's not working properly. So there's heating, hot water, and as you can see it's all wired in here. So first thing I'm going to do is test, see what's meant to work. Now there's a little bit of a trap here. Anything that has Ebus controls is a priority system. So the heating shouldn't come on unless the hot water is hot enough. So first thing we're going to do is check that. Just so you know, these two orange things are the relays to control the valves. So we'll get on with it and see what's what. So this boiler is an Ecotech Plus. This is 6 series. A 630. So basically when it's all wired with Ebus, this effectively controls the hot water temperature and this controls the heating temperature. And this little plug-in timer here can control both heating and hot water. I'm just going to open the front of the boiler here so I can show you this. Okay, here we are. Whoa, no way. Can you believe that gauge just failed? Okay. Look what just happened when I opened this boiler. So now you're going to see how I deal with this live, shall we? So that gauge just failed. we go, half dealt with. Right, so that was fun. Brilliant. Not the most fun I've ever had, I must say. Anyway, so that's happened. I'm going to break that properly. And oh, that happens quite regular, doesn't it? Not quite regular. It's the first time this year, nearly at the end of the year, that's happened to me. So we lost a little bit of water there, not too much. Look at that, that was a nice live repair you just saw there. Simply squeeze it a few times. This end here, I can't do this with one hand, but I will fold this end over and crimp it back on itself twice, and that will not leak until we get a new gauge. So let me show you in here what I was originally coming here for. So we have live neutral earth, 3 and 4 is still the room stat, and there's the Ebus. So that plus and minus, using the programmer on the front, can control both heating and water, to do with frequency or pulse signals, I'm not sure which. But just you need to understand, it's a bit weird, but them two wires there can control both heating and water temperature. Can do an awful lot. So let's get back to this. Let's quickly deal with this gauge. There you go. So that'll do until we can get another one. Okay, so first things first, I want to test this. So it's primarily hot water. So the fact we've got heating, haven't got heating, could just be to do with the fact that we haven't actually got hot water. Right, this is going to be very difficult, bear with me. Okay, so I'm across the hot water there. 240 volts. So let's see if this valve is opening. So basically this will be telling the boiler to run. There's effectively no real interlock here now with this Ebus stuff. So this valve should be open. The boiler is being told to run by these plus and minus connections here. So is the valve open? If the valve isn't open, and it's not, it's opening now. Needed a little push with my hand. Okay, so let's have a look at this valve in a bit more depth. There's a switch on the side here. That does sometimes happen. That's turned off. That valve just closed. Let's turn all the power off. Unplug it. Shouldn't be in the switch plug, if you understand old school stuff. But anyway, so let's have a look at this valve. Okay, so here's this valve. That's not great, but we know it gets power and it doesn't move. So let's get the cover off this and see what's going on with it. Okay, so it's got a standard synchro motor in there. Let's turn that around. Standard synchro motor. The body's fine. That turns with my fingers, no problem. You can't see that, but I can feel that's moving nicely. Okay, so that's not the problem. So we'll change the synchro motor and see if that gets things working. Here's this. I've taken the synchro motor out, but look what I've noticed. Let me move that. Oh, let's get that clear. So if you look at this first row of teeth in here, they're all missing. You see that? The first couple of teeth are missing. So that is probably what the problem is. All the others are in there, look. So this needs a new two-port, which is in this dungeon here, so that's going to be a load of fun. I've isolated the boiler, flow and return. It's cold in this garage. The two-port is closed here, so that should hopefully hold back the water from upstairs. I'm going to isolate this here. Okay, that was 5/4 turns till that closed. Now I've got a drain off here I can use to drain it, which I may even be able to open with my fingers. But anyway, I'm going to get somehow I'm going to get something in there to catch the water. There's not much space. This is where my buckets come in quite handy sometimes, because I can wedge them in there. So I'm going to wedge that in there, open that drain off until it stops, and this is going to be real difficult because that pipe, there's no movement on this pipe, it's all clipped, and it goes through the wall there and it's all made good. So moving this out of here is going to be incredibly difficult. So we will see. I'd like to see you do that with your normal bucket. Okay, let's see how much water we got in here. Remember, the boiler's completely isolated from this. So we've got a stuck drain off, but look, there's nothing coming through there, hopefully. Let's try, let's see what happens. See if we can undo this valve. Okay, there we are. See, I had to undo a load of stuff to get that in. Got a bit of water on the floor there, but probably only lost a litre or so. Oh well, no, probably about 2 litres. So I've got to try and get that last bit now in. Wish me luck. Okay, so there we go. It's in. This is how much water we lost. Not that much. You can see the top of the valve sticking out of it. Let's have a look. So in the bottom of that bucket there's 1.5 inches of water. I did have to muller the clip here. There's literally no way I could have done it without having to destroy that clip. I might try and pop that back around the pipe now, but it would have been impossible. It was impossible. Forget it. It was impossible. I couldn't do it because there's no movement on this pipe. I've only got one cut so far, so I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so let's get it wired in and see if it resolves the issue. Here it is, it's all wired in. There's no cable restraints on this. They're meant to be these cable restraints that slot into here, but there's none here. Whoever installed this originally took them with them and didn't bother using them. We should have this working now once we get it back together. So as you see, people come here and they're worried about the controls. You don't need to be worried about the controls. You just need to know how they're meant to operate. Oh, lovely. We've got leaking on return valve. That's perfect. Leaking like a sieve as well. Let's see what it's like. That's absolutely terrible, isn't it? Anyway, let's see what happens when we... I've got that 2-pot in, I've wired it in. I'm now going to show you opening the valve. Okay, so here we are. This valve is open, and now if we go and look at the boiler, boiler's running, and look what's flashing. Okay, the hot water symbol. The boiler is busy doing hot water. You can see here it's flashing hot water. Alright. So once the hot water is now hot enough, we'll turn the heating on. So while I tidy up and stuff, we're going to wait for that to happen. Okay, so now it's just a waiting game for the hot water to be hot. Once the hot water's hot, the heating will come on. Remember, it's a priority system. So this system is closed. So what I'm going to do, so I'm not waiting so long. Hold on, let's put this on. There we go. So I'm not waiting so long. Yeah, turn that down. And Ebus takes about 5 minutes to operate. So although that's down, this valve probably won't open for a few minutes. Okay. Okay, so I've just heard it open this valve. It has. Just heard it click. So let's go check what the boiler's doing. So this is a heat and demand S2. On and lit. Hot water stopped flashing. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this back now. Now that I know it works for the heating, and we'll hear the heating valve close. So that's turned up. So heating valve just closed, and now the hot water valve should have opened up, and it has. So this system is now working perfectly. Okay, so that's it, system fixed. As you see, difficult controls sometimes just need a little bit of understanding. Thanks.